It is regarded as the most important heritage site in all of Real del Monte. Originally, this mine was discovered in 1865 by the Martiarena family, but not before having to overcome a number of difficulties. I wonder if this is partly the reason for the mine's name. Anyway, by August 1866, they finally managed to take possession of the mine along with their partner, Mr. Chester. A few years later, Martiarena and Chester had to resort to the banking system of that time. The Avio system of the time was some sort of banking system. The purpose of this institution was to grant loans to private entrepreneurs interested in acquiring machinery for the manufacturing industry, in this case, the mining industry, with around 5% annual interest on such loans. A contract was made with the Compañía de Esquipulas, La Nueva. This company was absorbed by the Compañía de Real del Monte y Pachuca 4 years later, in such a way that on June 23, 1880, the La Dificultad mine became operated by the Compañía de Real del Monte y Pachuca. And here's part of the reason for such impressive success of some of the mining companies at the time. Pay close attention, my dear entrepreneurs and aspiring millionaires. As it turns out, in the loan contract with this company, it was stipulated that if mines used Compañía Real del Monte y Pachuca machinery, they had to pay 10% of the metal extracted. Pretty good deal, right? In the event that they needed a local steam engine drain or winches on their own belongings, they would charge the accoutrement for the cost of the drain. So, 10 years later, they got their own Wolf steam engine for the drainage in La Dificultad. And its owners would be the ones who could absorb the total cost of such machine, as well as the cost of transferring and installation, which, by the way, were not cheap at all. In this type of contract, it is also stated that the direction, administration, and management of the mines, including the way of working them and the benefit of their metals, were exclusive faculties of the Compañía Real del Monte. How about that? Small miners in the region carried out this type of equipment contracts. Consequently, this allowed the Compañía Real del Monte y Pachuca to expand its possessions and exercise full control over regional mining. But their day also came. As a consequence of the drop in the price of silver in the international market, they faced several economic problems, along with the low production of the Pachuca mines and the flooding of several mines in Real del Monte. It was thought that the best option to continue with the productive life of the district was the exploitation of Clavo de San Ignacio, located just 280 meters from the La Dificultad shaft on the Santa Ynez vein, which with a width of between 10 and 14 rods, it produced 25,000 pesos per week in 1866. Something that actually became a real challenge is that the drainage elements that were available were simply not enough to continue its exploitation. Hence, the decision was made to purchase a machine with a greater power that would ensure the continuity of production. After several studies carried out, it was decided to install the machine in La Dificultad mine. And it is what we see today, imposing and powerful as always. Mina La Dificultad is the most important monumental historical complex in Real del Monte, and a valuable and clear testimony of the great technological transformations. It is now a site museum and interpretation center, very visible, and denotes its enormity, the fact that it is located on one of the most visible and highest peaks of the mountain range. This site museum contains extremely valuable information on more than 5 centuries of mining life in the deposits of Real del Monte, Pachuca, Mineral del Chico, Mineral de la Reforma, Huasca, and the Sierra de las Navajas. It wasn't until after several years of rescuing and conditioning the old mining facilities and equipment, work carried out by Civil Association Historical Archive and Mining Museum, that this site became what it is today, in all of its splendor. A very important place and most definitely a must when coming to this part of the country, not only because it offers valuable graphic and documentary information, but also because the La Dificultad mine constitutes a testimony of the transition between the steam era and the beginning of the electricity era. It just so happens that the most powerful steam engine in the country at the end of the 19th century, which allowed the drainage of Clavo de San Ignacio and other mines in the region, lived here. It was a steam engine made in Chemnitz, Germany. La Dificultad became an icon of mining and the main protagonist of the great technological transformations that have been carried out by the administration of the Compañía Real del Monte y Pachuca. Its architectural style stands out, and of course, German technology in this mining district. It is one of the best examples of mining industrial heritage. And as we already mentioned, the end of the age of steam and the beginning of the age of electricity, which brought with it its own challenges, which we will see in an upcoming video. Its imposing 40-meter-high chimney stands out, and its impressive powerhouse that preserves a Birmingham brand steam winch inside that still works, in addition to the electric winch acquired by the American company at the beginning of the 20th century, and that it continues to serve the miners who descend into the mine. The Andrés Manuel del Rio Lithothek is made up of hundreds of diamond draining cores and a wonderful collection of minerals with specimens of extraordinary quality from different mines in the country and some even from abroad. Drill cores consist of rock samples taken from the well at a specific depth by special means, preserving its geological structure and its physiochemical characteristics in the best possible way, in order to perform petrophysical and geological analysis. They are generally obtained by drilling the formation with a hollow cross-section rotary drill, cutting portions of walls, cutting with wireline tools, and with draining fluids. In this way, cylindrical samples are obtained. This type of sample has the following advantages. They can be assigned an exact depth. If taken properly, they can be free of contamination by drilling fluids. In most cases, they are absolutely representative. Due to their volume and characteristics, they are highly versatile, being suitable for petrophysical, sedimentological, microtechnical, micropaleontological analysis, etc. If used properly, they offer reliable results. They can be taken informations of any lithology. They are used to correlate well logs with laboratory results. We are extremely privileged to have the best examples of mining industrial heritage, the end of an era, that of steam, and the beginning of another. The mine is 700 meters deep, of which 250 meters are flooded due to water infiltration, which is planned for a project to purify the water from the mine to be able to use it in Real del Monte and Pachuca.